trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more?
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Hillside Raceway as it plays host to race number 30 of the 5th season of the Duracell Cup Series. Playoff race number 4, the first race of the round of 8 as these drivers prepare for 80 circuits around today's fast, mild racetrack. A lot of people kind of liken this to if you took Daytona or Talladega and shrunk it down, because this has a lot of aspects of super speedway racing. It's very easy to get to the front, but not all that easy to stay there, and it may come down to pit strategy by the end of the day. We've also seen in the past couple of seasons a couple of, well, fortunately timed cautions for some, unfortunately timed cautions for others have really shuffled up the running order and the finishing results, so we'll see if that's going to be the case here today. This has been a mainstay in the 30th slot in the schedule ever since the first season of the Duracell Cup Series, and a big reason is because of the part it plays to start off the round of 8. 29 drivers ready to take the green flag here today. The Tri-Terry drivers who got it all started when the playoffs began back at Richmond. They'll look to put the best foot forward here of the remaining 8 playoff teams in this one. One of them will start on the pole position. That's James Shelley. It was his win back at Riverside, the road course in California, that locked the 31 car into the playoffs, and he will look to see if he can maybe lock them into the round of 6 without having to worry about the upcoming 2 races at Lime Rock and Arizona. So far, 3 playoff races, and we have had none of our playoff contending teams go to victory lane. So will today be the day that a team will get that golden ticket into the next round? Alongside of James Shelley, you've got the team that's last in the points, but granted, they also started pretty late in the season as well. The team was formed. The Reggie Fogelman machine, the 4 Racing Enterprises number 44, will be on the outside of the front row. Of course, Reggie, a former winner in his own right here this season, so he's looking to get that Switch Dodge Challenger to victory lane for a second time this season. Row 2, it's going to be all blue ovals. You've got Allison Rodrigo in the 21 out of No Limits Racing, 22nd in the current point standings, to look for his first win of his Duracell Cup Series career. And alongside of him, you got a team that kind of really needs some good momentum here today. They almost were eliminated last week at Indianapolis from advancing into the round of 8, and that is the 47 team out of Lake Effect Autosports. Daniel Voiles in the driver's seat here today. That team, there's a couple of teams actually that really need some good momentum here today because they had an abysmal first round. The good thing that saved them, though, was they had some pretty good bonus points when the point standings were reformatted for the playoffs, and a couple of teams underneath them in points that didn't have those bonus point advantage did equally as bad and ended up being the ones that got eliminated. We'll document them in just a minute, as the top 5 is going to be completed by the 12 of Jackie Halleck out of Evans Gardner Motorsports. That team not only looking for their first win overall of the season, but they're just looking for some good momentum as well as they come into this race 27th in the point standings. That is next to last of the teams that took the green flag to start out the season at Daytona. So certainly looking to get things turned around here with really only a handful of races left to go here during the postseason. Let's take a look at your playoff standings coming into this race. Of course, we're only going to show it for a brief moment because with the point standings reformatted, all 8 teams, since none of them won their way into this next round, no extra bonus points given out. So 2,000 points from the 77 team out of Auto Junction Racing all the way down to the 47 team out of Lake Effect Autosport. The 93 team last week and the 55 team both eliminated from advancing into the next round, so they'll just look to finish out the season with as many trips to victory lane as they possibly can get. And you see the 6th, 7th, and 8th seed drivers right there, or teams right there, the 78, the 95, the 47. I mentioned there were teams that really need good runs here today to counter the poor performances back in the first round. Those are the 3 teams right then and there. They got to get something going here today, because any 3 of those teams, if the 93 and the 55 had slightly better first rounds, they could have been 2 of the eliminated teams once we got to tonight's race here at Hillside. So we'll wait and see what this racetrack has in store for us. We're moments away from getting the command to fire the engines, but first we go down trackside for pre-race ceremonies and the singing of today's national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Drivers, start your engines!
Field will roll off behind the pace car, and we'll get ready to go racing here today at the Hillside Raceway. Let's take a look at your starting lineup for tonight's 80-lapper. James Shelley, Reggie Fogelman, mentioned, is the front row. Allison Rodrigo, Daniel Voiles, row 2. Jackie Halleck will make up row 3 with Matthew Rodriguez. Jordan Lopez and Roberto Crown Jr., row 4. Row 5, Cole Deaver, Mike Tellier. Adam Garcia will join Michael Norman in row 6. Harrison Ponder, Will Goss, row 7. Jacob Thibodeau, winner last time out when these Tri-Terry drivers were on the track. He's going to be in row 8 with Andrew Gonzalez. Alexander Rowe, Colin Cropley, row 9. Top 20 completed by Pierce Crone and Andrew Davis. Keith Batts and Mitchell Collins, they're in row 11. Row 12 finds Zachary Taylor, Benjamin Miles. That's Ryan Acosta, Carson Grob, Riley Henry, Alex Tanker, and Caleb Fogler, the rest of the field, as we're underway here at Hillside Raceway. If you're a playoff driver, first thing you want to do here today is get the bonus point for a lap led. James Shelley tried to do that, but Allison Rodrigo has other plans. He's going to move on by, and he's going to lead lap 1. Now Jackie Halleck going to move towards the front. Push there from Jordan Lopez. Here comes Cole Deaver on that inside line as well. Like I said, easy to get to the front, but very difficult to hold on to the spot. Shelley lost the lead, Rodrigo lost the lead, Halleck lost the lead, and Lopez is going to lose the lead here as he tried to throw the block on Deaver, and Deaver was having none of it. Kept his foot in the throttle and now. Lopez kicked up to the top side as we're going to be 3 wide, about 2-3 rows deep up here at the front. 4 wide further back there, I think they were. Either that, they weren't given a lot of room. Matthew Rodriguez, Daniel Voiles, they were nearly able to have a handshake there. They were so close door to door. As Harrison Ponder will take the race lead now in the 48. Will Goss getting kicked to the back. Jacob Thibodeau, winner last time these drivers were on track at Richmond, the opener of the playoffs. Looking for his 2nd win on the season, 3rd win for that 6-car overall. And I mentioned about the 78 team really needing some good momentum here after some pretty abysmal runs by Rowe, Yepes, and last week by Ryan Butcher. Almost got eliminated from the round of 10, moving here into the round of 8. Did get that lap-led bonus point, though, as will Pierce Crone in the 8. So there's 2 playoff teams that have got the lap-led. There's a couple lined up right behind him there as well. Zachary Taylor, the 95, 2-time winning team, courtesy of Sean Art. Matthew Rodriguez there, another playoff driver. He's going to lose a spot there, 3rd place to Kat Batson, who will now move into the podium. Her teammate, Andrew Davis, playoff contender, former playoff contender, is now in the 5th position. Remember, the 93 was eliminated along with the 55 last week at Indianapolis. These things have gotten rather single-filed out here towards the front. Oh, I've heard some scraping. Do we have a wreck? That's the 74 of Andrew Gonzalez I see up there towards the wall. Caution is out, but nobody appears to have spun around. Or if they did spin around, then we may have dodged something there. Looks like someone might have gotten hooked off of turn 4 and slid back up the racetrack into turn 1. Now, I also saw some damage. It appeared on the 48 of Harrison Ponder. So he either may have been the one that got spun or was the one that was spun into. And there's the 74 that I'm pretty certain that he was the one I saw up and into the wall. So I'm wondering if it was the 48 got turned and the 74 was the one that got tagged. Pit road is open, and we've got some takers on pit road here, so already pit strategy coming into play. None of your top 4 coming in. Andrew Davis from the 5th position will be the first one that will make the left-hand turn onto pit lane. Let's see if we can find out what brought the caution out here for the first time today. Doesn't look like it was anything terribly big. Try and see if we can pinpoint the 74 of Andrew Gonzalez, who I'm pretty certain might have been the one that went around, either he or the 48 of Harrison Ponder. Here it was, off of turn 4. Oh, the spin was already taking place up ahead, and it was Ponder. Oh, Gonzalez never got hit. He was running up the racetrack, overstepped the cushion, and once he got into the wall, it never let him go. So, theoretically, the 74 never wrecked. So who was it that tags Harrison Ponder? Oh, I think we might have attempted 4 wide here. That's why when I dropped back earlier thinking it was a 4 wide situation, I was worried because this can happen. Ryan Acosta, Will Goss, Harrison Ponder, Jacob Thibodeau were in that 4 wide situation. Oh, Mitchell Collins going to get a hit there in the Mobil 1 Ford Mustang. But I'll tell you what, everybody did a great job getting on the brakes to make sure they gave Harrison Ponder the space that he needed, the time that he needed to recover. Much, much more minimal damage than I would have expected with something in the middle of a pack like this. Let's go on board with the National Guard Chevy. And there you see up ahead Andrew Gonzalez trying to get off of the wall after he had to kind of use that wall, use that high line to avoid the incident. So I don't think that's going to take anybody out of the race. We should be able to have everybody still running and I think still on the lead lap here also. Harrison Ponder's returned back to the racetrack. 74 of Andrew Gonzalez never even came to pit lane. I'm not sure. Yeah, Mitchell Collins did come to pit road, but very short stop for him as well. So we'll get ready for the restart here. Pierce Crone, who's led 6 laps so far, will be getting us back underway. Zachary Taylor in second, Cat Batson third. Fourth, Matthew Rodriguez. Allison Rodrigo now moves up to fifth after Andrew Davis came to pit road. Then Riley Henry, Jacob Thibodeau, Daniel Voiles, Caleb Fogler, and James Shelley are going to complete the top 10. I mentioned about how easy it is to work your way to the front here. Caleb Fogler started this race from dead last, and he is now up in the 9th position, only 12 laps into tonight's event. Green flag back in the air here for the 8 of Pierce Crone, who got himself a really good jump already, maybe 2.5 car lengths back to Zachary Taylor going through 1 and 2. That gap will more than likely close up very rapidly, though, here with the ability to draft. Like I said, this is like a mini super speedway, and so the draft is very prominent at a track like this. Zachary Taylor hasn't led a lap yet. Playoff contending team. He's got the lead down the back straightaway. Can he block Cat Batson here through 3 and 4? I think he's got her pinned down enough, and he is going to be able to lead this lap. Batson got caught out, had to lift, and that opened the door for Allison Rodrigo to look for the 2nd spot. One driver we haven't seen up towards the front yet, but a lot of possibilities been swirling around in the garage surrounding Michael Norman, because the last 2 weeks, Cody Lamas, Road America, Trent Dunham, Indianapolis, have put the 1 car in victory lane. Can Michael Norman complete the trifecta here today? 3rd place battle. Voiles to the inside of Thibodeau. He'll take the spot. Matthew Rodriguez will follow right behind him. He's got his Pigeon Racing teammate James Shelley there as well. Got a lot of your playoff teams up here right now. The 95, 47, 19, 31, and 8. All inside of the top 10. All inside of the top 8, as a matter of fact. And Voiles wants more. Daniel Voiles is a former winner of the Duracell Cup Series, but not a charter winner in Duracell Cup Series competition. Took a non-charter win last season at Watkins Glen when driving the number 63 for KB Racing Enterprises. So he is still looking for his first official career win here in Duracell Cup Series competition, as he almost got the lead there. Just a couple feet shy from Zachary Taylor. He will have the inside advantage here out of turn 2 and may be able to lead this upcoming lap. Wow, look at Taylor trying to block Pierce Crone. Nothing doing there. Crone going to try and lead this lap against Daniel Voiles. Who's going to get it? It's Voiles on the top side by a splitter. And now Crone will move into the race lead. The 8 team had a solid first round. They worked their way up to the 4th seed here for the reformatted points. Team that had the best first round was the 77 team out of AJR, followed by the 09 out of S3, and then the 19 out of Pigeon Racing. Ooh, things got a little hairy back there, just off camera. Colin Cropley trying to make a move there on Daniel Voiles, who tried to throw a block. Jackie Halleck has now moved back up to 2nd. Thibodeau there, and there's Michael Norman. When I was talking about Michael Norman, he was back around 16th. Didn't take him long to now make his way up inside of the top 5 in that PlayStation 5 number 1. A lot of silly season news happening for the upcoming 6th season of the Duracell Cup Series. Of course, this is going to be the only season, at least as of right now, where there will be 3 drivers per car. We're going back to 1 driver per car, 42-car field next season. And Michael Norman making the announcement this past week that Michael Norman Motorsports is going to be moving from Chevrolets back to Fords. If I recall correctly, I believe Michael Norman Motorsports was a Ford team in Season 1. It was either Season 1 or Season 2. So they've been in the Blue Ovals before. And Michael Norman will be in the 22 next season. We also already know one of the teammates he'll have. That's going to be Jovan Anderson in the 93. Drivers at this point that are getting reserved rides and having these announcements made are drivers that have donated to the Back to Bristol GoFundMe fundraiser. Matthew Rodriguez in the 19, now into the third spot, just ahead of Allison Rodrigo. Reggie Fogelman hounding Pierce Chrome for the top spot. So a couple of rookies. You see the yellow stripes on both of their back bumpers. Both looking for trip to victory lane. For Pierce Chrome, it'd be his first. For Reggie Fogelman, it would be his second. So we see some of the playoff drivers that are doing well here today. How about some that might be struggling? Let's drop to the back, and, well, all of a sudden, Caleb Vogler, who was up inside of the top 10, he's right now dropped all the way to 29th. That's the last place running car. And that car didn't sound too good. Running 160 miles per hour. He might be down a cylinder. Alexander Rowe is way back here right now. So is James Shelley. So is Daniel Voiles. They are in the lead pack, though, so that's the good news for them. I mean, there's even Michael Norman, who was up at the front. He's now faded back to 16th. So it doesn't take much to work your way to the front. On the flip side, doesn't take much to fall to the back. There's the 77. Mentioned about how that team had the best first round in terms of points accumulated. Roberto Crown Jr., two-time winner in that 77 machine. Pretty much the main reason that that team made it into the playoffs. Right now, last time by in the 11th position. Now up to 9th that lap. It's Alex Tanker in the 27. Now up into the top 5 behind Crone, Fogelman, Rodrigo, and Thibodeau. Former winner this season, Alex Tanker. 30 laps completed here at Hillside. And if we continue to remain under green, I believe, even despite that caution coming out, we had a number of drivers that elected to stay out. I'll try and get the exact number here in just a minute. I believe it was 15 drivers stayed out when that yellow flag came out, but... Oh, and, well, I'm not even going to mention what I was going to mention because the caution's waving. It is before halfway, though, so we may end up still seeing around the green flag pit stops, but yellow flag is out for the second time today. Looks like something happened up in turn 3, and oh, we got a car that is caught on the bottom of the track, and Thibodeau tagged her, Kat Batson. Riley Henry all torn up in the Dollar General Ford, and one of our playoff drivers was obviously collected, the 95 of Zachary Taylor. Looks like also the 31 of James Shelley, another playoff driver. There's some more damaged race cars intermingled here. Colin Cropley's got damage. There's Alex Tanker. We were just talking about him up in 5th. He's got some rear end damage now. Michael Norman looks like he may have been run to the back too. I don't know if a lot of these drivers, that's Carson Grob, he was definitely involved. But I'm not certain if some of these guys might have been involved in a stack up there under pacing rather than the initial wreck itself. I believe the 65 was definitely in the wreck. The 99, the 39 also. The other ones we'll have to look and see if it was follow-up damage checking up for pacing as Allison Rodrigo's team gets it done on pit road. Number 3 pit stall gets him out to the race lead for this upcoming restart. I'll tell you who this caution helps too. And that's Caleb Vogler in the 09 because he did not go a lap down prior to that caution coming out. So if he doesn't have a mechanical problem and he just lost the draft, then that is going to be a race saver for him. We had another playoff driver collected in this, and that was Matthew Rodriguez in the 19. Here's a look at what happened. This was off of turn 2. Carson Grob's the car in the middle. Top side, Jordan Lopez, and as he came off the wall, Matthew Rodriguez gets into a left rear quarter panel. Gets into Kat Batson in the 39. James Shelley trying to get on the brakes, clobbers the 65, and then the top side's completely blockaded up. Nowhere for rookie Riley Henry to be able to go. There's where Zachary Taylor is involved. Alexander Rowe. Oh, gosh. Kat Batson was down the apron, and Mike Tellier flies in, clobbered her, then slides up the racetrack into Grob and Taylor's. That's how Taylor got even more damage. I don't know if Alexander Rowe got through it or not. Well, there's Rodriguez. Must have slid up into the wall after he got spun to the inside. And then your race leaders are going to come into view here shortly. Let's fast forward a little bit here. And just how much damage does Jacob Thibodeau get in all of this? Tanker's already got some damage on the back end of his Geico Ford, so maybe he avoided this, and that was just damage he had from an earlier incident. There you see the shot for Jacob Thibodeau up the racetrack, almost gets the outside wall. I think everybody else back here was, for the most part, okay. Well, Cropley we know was involved in something, so maybe some kind of a stack up right here. Roberta Crown Jr.'s into the back of Deaver. Yeah, I think this is where the stack up takes place. Cropley into the back of Will Goss. And then further back here, Shelley, I think, is going to get a hit from behind. Well, maybe not. I thought maybe he gets a tap from Alexander Rowe, but maybe not much. Let's take another look at it here. I want to look at the 19 of Matthew Rodriguez, because he and Cat Batson kind of both went down towards the inside of the racetrack, and I want to see what they hit. Down towards pit lane entry here as well. Actually, no, correction. That's heading into turn 1. This is heading into turn 3. Rodriguez catches the wall into the grass, up the racetrack. Well, that's a bunch of cars that avoided him, and then there you see Carson Grob, Riley Henry nowhere to go when his car drifted back up onto the racetrack. Now, where's the 55 of Mike Tellier? We won't bother to go back with the replay transition screen. We'll just rewind it back. Yeah, here's Tellier. He was kind of running by his lonesome. Looked like he had a little bit of front-end damage there, so might have not been 100% aerodynamically. And, oh, right there, just nowhere to go. Clips Cat Batson up the racetrack into this group of race cars. And it looks like his car is done for the day as well. Smoke erupting from underneath that Hyper Ice Chevrolet Camaro. So, boy, what a string of bad runs here for that 55 out of Gunther Motorsports. I mentioned them getting eliminated from the playoffs last week, as apparently we missed the drop of the green flag. We're already back underway here. Michael Norman has taken the race lead. It was Rodrigo that led us back, but going back there to that 55 team, got eliminated last week from the playoffs, and this week not doing much better, as officially Mike Tellier, Riley Henry, both back in the garage area. Matthew Rodriguez, Carson Grob, and Cat Batson made repairs, returned back to the track, but Rodriguez and Grob are right now 1 lap down apiece and 2 laps down for Cat Batson. 24 drivers on the lead lap of 27 that remain on the racetrack. And those drivers may be off the pace too, and if that's the case, this is going to get very interesting if the leaders end up catching them, especially entering into the corner. More than halfway home here, though, in the first race of the second round of the playoffs for the Duracell Cup Series. There's those slow cars. Oh, there's a couple of them that I didn't even mention there. There's James Shelley, Jacob Thibodeau. And Ryan Acosta says, thank you very much. He's going to move on by. Those are 2 Pigeon Racing cars, the 6 and the 31, and they aided Ryan Acosta, their teammate, to get out to the race lead. Don't know if that was by design or not, but Ryan Acosta, former winner this season from Bristol, where he went coast to coast, pole to win, looking for a second win on the season. Caleb Fogler, that caution was a big break for him, and he's making the most of it. He's now up to second. His teammate, Cole Deaver, right behind in third, and Fogler wants the lead. They're going to catch the 39 of Cat Batson. Where do they take her? Ryan goes high. Caleb went low, and Ryan is going to win out on that exchange and keep the top position. Want to remind everybody, though, next week, it's the middle race of the second round of the playoffs. It's our final road course stop in the season as well, everybody's favorite Lime Rock. And then we end off this round and whittle it down from 8 to 6 when we head to Arizona Speedway. Another slow car ahead, and that is Zachary Taylor's 95. There's a couple of teams I'm looking at right now that could be heading to Lime Rock in a bit of trouble. That would include the 19, the 31, and the 95, all right now off the lead lap. Matthew Rodriguez about to go a second lap down, as is Carson Grob. Rodriguez, another Pigeon Racing car, moving out of the way of his teammate. Whoa, that was a tight 3 wide. Will Goss, Jordan Lopez, as they're trying to make their way past the slower machines. Goss is now up to, I believe that's the 4th position. Caleb Fogler looking for 2nd on Andrew Gonzalez. Remember, Gonzalez was up riding the wall there to avoid the first caution of the day. So both he and Caleb Fogler, what could have been really, really bad days for them, all of a sudden are looking pretty sunny. Another team that's not doing all that hot right now, we're going to see in a few moments. That's the 78 team, I think. They're off the pace just a bit. Alexander Rowe. He might be slightly up to speed, maybe more so than some of the other drivers, but that could be another team that could be heading into next week needing a good performance. I mean, how about right now? We got the 09 up front. Mentioned the fact when we started this race that we've had 3 playoff races and 3 non-playoff drivers have gone to victory lane: Thibodeau, Lamas, and Dunham. Right now, Caleb Fogler, who started shotgun on the field, the 09 team at S3 Motorsports, who off the victory from Kyle Matthews at Martinsville and the follow-up victory by Stephen Paul III in the regular season finale at Auto Club. If he can close out the deal here, they are locked into the round of 6, but he got trapped in behind Thibodeau. Now Goss gets trapped in behind Shelley. All that congestion is going to put Reggie Fogelman to the race lead. And look who's in 2nd. 93 of Andrew Davis. Davis looking for his first career win here in the Duracell Cup Series, and if we were able to close out the deal, it'd be a bittersweet victory, I think. Obviously, the elation of being able to take a checkered flag here in Duracell Cup competition, but the disappointment of what could have been. Remember, they got eliminated from the playoffs last week. If they were still in the playoffs here this week and they won, they would be advancing into the round of 6. It's kind of almost similar to what went on with the 1 car. I mean, that one team out of M&M, they were the most consistent team all season long that were not able to find victory lane. Then the playoffs begin and they've got 2 victories. Imagine if that had taken place about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We would be talking about them as maybe one of the favorites here to win it all in the playoffs. Alex Tanker's now going to go a lap down in the 27. That will leave us with 20 cars on the lead lap. Cole Deaver has now gone to the race lead. 2-time winner last season, Cole Deaver, but so far this season, winless. Matter of fact, the entire 03 team out of S3 Motorsports winless. Sanford, Shelton, and Deaver. None of them have gone to victory lane, while they've seen the counterpart teammates in the 09 find victory lane twice, and that's been in the last 8 or 9 races. And now Roberto Crown Jr., who's looking for his 3rd career victory in his rookie season. He's going to go to the inside and try and take the race lead. That 3rd win would lock the 77 into the round of 6. And remember, as I mentioned, the 77 team had the best first round, points-wise, of anybody. So they've certainly got momentum on their side, that's for sure. Adam Garcia in the 2, now about to go a lap down. He is the 20th place driver. And we had that caution come out right around the midway point, so I'm not certain if these drivers will be able to make it the rest of the scheduled distance on fuel, or if they'll have to dive onto pit road prior to that. It seems like just about when we start to talk about potential fuel strategy and coming to pit road, the yellow flag comes out. So I may have just jinxed it here. We may be moments away from our 3rd caution of the day. Boy, they're wadded up 3 wide, several rows deep there, trying to make their way around the slower machine of Carson Grob. But Fogler has taken the lead back. Goss into 2nd, 3rd for Ryan Acosta, and Daniel Voiles now back up here inside the top 5 in 4th place, followed by Allison Rodrigo. Let's take a look at our lap leaders so far today. Pierce Crone has led the most laps, and that may end up holding court for the 8 team to get not only a lap-led bonus point, but most laps-led bonus point. 7 laps have been led by Ryan Acosta, 6 by Allison Rodrigo, 5 laps by Zachary Taylor, who is now a lap down. That was the 5th lap led by Caleb Fogler. 4 laps by Cole Deaver, 2 laps apiece for Andrew Gonzalez, Reggie Fogelman, Jordan Lopez. And then leading 1 lap so far today, Daniel Boyles, Harrison Ponder, Roberto Crown Jr., and Alexander Rowe. Will Goss going to use the 31 of the lap machine of James Shelley as a pick. He'll go to the point. The 11 team has a victory this season with Cole Baker, but they were too far down the point standings for that victory to count towards a playoff spot. Will Goss is still looking for his first career victory in Duracell competition. Both of his teammates have Duracell Cup Series victories. We already mentioned about Baker, but Tristan Allen also with a win last year at Bristol Dirt as a non-charter driver in a charter race. So Will Goss is the only driver of that team that is still yet to clinch a checkered flag, and we nearly just clinched a 3rd caution. Andrew Davis, I'm not even going to say that he bumped Andrew Gonzalez out of the way. He almost literally moved him up the racetrack. That was close between those 2 rookies. And Harrison Ponder in the 48. Remember, we saw him have that spin on the back straightaway that brought out the first caution. Everybody got on the brakes, allowed him to gather it back up. He had a little bit of contact with Mitchell Collins, but that was all. And now he's up here inside of the top 10. Matter of fact, Collins, I just mentioned, he's up in the top 10 right now. 7th place last time by, as Will Goss chose the wrong lane. And Allison Rodrigo is going to make his way by for the top position. Zachary Taylor, Cat Batson, slower machines in the way. And now he leaves the bottom open for Andrew Davis in the Superflow Ford Mustang to move to the point. Still 19 drivers on the lead lap, and now 3 wide for the race lead. How about the former champ Jordan Lopez working his way up here to the top position? Former winner this season as well, looking for 2nd win on the year. Cole Deaver right behind him. Ooh, Cole got a little loose off of 4. Either that or he turned the wheel hard to the left. That thing did not look steady, as we're moments away from hitting 10 to go, by the way. Yeah, looks like the 78 is still up here in this lead group slightly. So it looks like we will probably finish this race with 19 drivers on the lead lap. But you saw as we were scanning our way up there to find those drivers, there's about 4 cars in between them and the race leaders. And I think that they are drivers who have already been lapped that are off the pace. So they're still going to come into play here with 10 laps remaining. Cole Deaver goes to the front, 3 wide, 3 blue ovals. Davis will take the spot from Boyles and Lopez. Andrew Gonzalez follows in line. There's a lot of Fords up here right now. The 93, the 74, the 47, the 21, the 38. And there's a wall of 4 cars in front of the race leaders. Normally they could take these corners 170. They were down to 150 miles per hour there, having to get on the brakes to avoid running these guys over. And you're probably wondering, well, why are those guys out there creating a hindrance? Well, for a couple of them, they're trying to get points, the 31, the 19, and pit road is about to get busy. Race leader on pit lane, and a lot of the lead lap cars came down with Andrew Davis. I don't know if anybody stayed out. Yeah, it looks like Alexander Rowe stayed out. Deaver stayed out. He's coming in now along with Rodrigo Will Goss. This is a very sketchy racetrack in terms of merging back onto the track, though, too. We've got to keep an eye on this. Here comes Davis off pit road. Maybe since we had such a big pack come down the first time, we may not have that issue. But the drivers merge on the back straightaway, while at the same time, drivers come off of the back straightaway to head for pit road. So it's very congested, like a very busy intersection. And I kind of bring all that to light because there is the possibility we could see a late race yellow. Got to be careful here, merging back onto the track here into turn 3. It's like so far, everybody's done a good job of it. Will Goss going to get freight trained. As right now, it is Reggie Fogelman being shown the race leader. He's going to lose that spot here, right there, to Andrew Davis, who now makes his way on by. Whoa! Caleb Fogler almost ran into Ryan Acosta, and he almost turned him right there. That's close. But caution came out now. I'm not certain if we'd get back green. Davis had about 4 or 5 car lengths back to Andrew Gonzalez and company, and they are now right on his back door. Oh man, these guys are not lifting now. They are shoving each other through the corners. You got Davis, Gonzalez, Acosta, Fogler, and Goss. Only one of them, that being Acosta, a former winner this season. The others looking for the first win of their career. Cole Devers now reeled in this lead group as well in the 6th position. Reggie Fogelman hoping to do the same, as is Harrison Ponder and Colin Cropley now up in the top 10. 3 to go here at Hillside. Can we finish these 3 laps under green flag conditions? As Andrew Davis, I think he's going to be looking out that rearview mirror a lot more than he looks out the windshield. The 93 team got locked into the playoffs very early on in the season with a victory courtesy of rookie William Micros at Manassas. Andrew Davis is looking to advance them into the round of 6 of the playoffs, and he will see the white flag this time. Battle for second, Gonzalez and Fogler. Can they get up there to the 93? Fogler is going to go to the inside for second place. Can he get enough of a run to get up to Andrew Davis here going into 3 and 4? These are 2 playoff contending teams going for the win here at Hillside. Close but no cigar for Caleb Fogler. He's on the back bumper, but he's not alongside. Andrew Davis is going to win at Hillside. The 93 is going to the round of 6, and it is Andrew Davis's first career win in the Duracell Cup Series. The Days of Thunder throwback out of KEB Racing Enterprises gets it done here today. And finally, we have a playoff driver win in a playoff race here. As so far, we had gone 0 for 3 in the first round. Oh, wait, correction. I'm failing badly. The 93 is not a playoff contender. I keep forgetting the fact that we're in the second round and that 2 teams got eliminated. Davis and the 93 team were one of the 2 teams eliminated last week. Wow, all that hype for nothing. I mean, there's still hype. It's still his first career victory, which is amazing. But now the sudden realization of the mistake I made, and yeah, now it's the what if. What if they hadn't been eliminated last week? Well, that was a buzzkill, wasn't it? Andrew Davis, though, with the victory, well done to him. He qualified in the 20th position, so he started pretty deep in the field, as did the second place finisher Caleb Fogler, because he started dead last, and he brings it home in second. Andrew Gonzalez will finish in third. Where did Andrew qualify? He was 16th, so nobody in our podium qualified inside of the top 15. Ryan Acosta is going to bring it home in 4th, and Cole Dever will finish in 5th. 6th place for Will Goss, 7th for Reggie Fogelman, 8th Harrison Ponder, 9th Colin Cropley, and 10th is Allison Rodrigo. I'll tell you what really stands out to me right now. Caleb Fogler was the only playoff contender that finished this race inside of the top 10. You got to go all the way down to 13th place to find the next one. Michael Norman, though, continues that momentum for that one team. A win, and an 11th, almost inside the top 10 here for Michael. He'll finish in the 11th spot, though, in that one car. Benjamin Miles, I don't think we talked really much about that Hertz Chevrolet all day long out of Legend Racing, and he's going to bring it home in 12th. Pierce Crone was the second highest finishing of the playoff contenders. He'll get 13th. Right behind him, more playoff drivers in Voiles and Roberto Crown Jr. in 14th and 15th. Jackie Halleck was 16th, Mitchell Collins 17th, Jordan Lopez fell back to 18th, and Alexander Rowe was the last driver to finish on the lead lap. He'll finish in the 19th position, playoff contender there. Several drivers finished a lap down on that long green flag run to the finish. Garcia, Tanker, Zachary Taylor, playoff driver, Cat Batts and Carson Grob, another playoff driver in Matthew Rodriguez, Jacob Thibodeau, and then another playoff driver in James Shelley. All of our remaining 8 playoff contending teams actually finished out the race, but a number of them will be heading into Lime Rock next week, really looking to gain back the points they lost in this one. Riley Henry, Mike Tellier were the only 2 drivers that did not reach the conclusion and ended up in the infield behind the wall. So right now it's looking like the 0-9 team, they're sitting pretty. Pierce Crone, Daniel Voiles, Roberto Crown Jr., decent enough points here today for their respective teams. But if you're looking for teams next week that are really going to need to bounce back, look at the 2 Pigeon Racing cars, the 19 and the 31, the 95 team out of Smart Motorsports, and that 78 team there as well out of Auto Junction Racing. They may be the 4 teams in trouble right now. More so, I would have to say the 78 and the 95, just in terms of momentum, because I mentioned coming into this one, they had horrible runs with all 3 of their drivers for their respective teams back in the first round and almost were eliminated. It was just the bonus points with the wins they had gotten during the regular season that, in essence, saved them from being eliminated. And apparently they have not gotten the momentum turned around here in the round of 8. So next week, Lime Rock, they definitely have got to get something going to be able to keep their hopes alive of advancing into the round of 6. But congratulations to Andrew Davis on his first career win here in the Duracell Cup Series, second win of the season for the 93 team, and a big moment for that rookie being able to wave his very first checkered flag. Next week, we head to our final road course stop on the season. That is Lime Rock. Hope that you guys will join us for that one. Let's take a look here, as I believe our point standings have been put together for the current outlook of the playoffs heading into said race. And there you go. This is the way that it looks. Obviously, with a non-playoff driver winning here today, nobody is locked into the round of 6 as of yet. Maybe that will be different when we take the checkered flag next week. But until then, if you guys enjoyed this race, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We showed you your full feature results. You're looking at your current point standings heading into next week. And until Lime Rock, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of the NNSCRA, Offline Racing at its best.